Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about circumference. This is the second lesson in our circles unit. Okay, if you haven't done the first day work, you need to go back and do that. It's just an intro to circles, talking about radius and diameter and how they're related. Make sure you get that done first. But today, measuring circumference. So, what is circumference? Well, it's the distance around a circle, okay? So around any other two-dimensional objects, we would call it a perimeter, but for a circle, we call it circumference, okay? It's found by multiplying the circle's diameter, okay, something that we learned in the last section, and pi, okay? Pi, as you know it, 3.14159, and so on. It is an irrational number that keeps going, okay? We're not going to use 3.14 as our number. We're going to either use pi as a symbol or pi as a button when we use it on a calculator. I'm going to show you that today. And we have a formula, okay? So whenever we're finding circumference, it's always d, diameter, times pi. All right, so if you know the circle's diameter, you're good. If you know the circle's radius, well, then you need to multiply that by 2 to have it equal the diameter, okay? And the last thing on this, number 4, there will be 2 answers, okay? Now, those answers are equal, and one is going to be called leaving it in terms of pi, and then another one is going to be an actual decimal value where we use the pi button. And I'm going to show you all about it, how to find both, how to use both, okay? So, first off, some examples, okay? So, we're going to use the formula C, circumference, equals the diameter times pi, okay? And for every circle that we do, I'm going to try to have the formula there. And then, of course, it says right here, make sure you label your answers, okay? So let's look up here in the corner. We have a circle, and it has a line going all the way through, and it says 5 centimeters. Now, because the line goes all the way through, I can assume they're saying that that is the diameter, okay? They already gave us the diameter. So I'm going to fill this in for my formula. Circumference equals diameter 5 times pi. And that is actually one of our answers, okay? Just writing it with its diameter, pi, okay? You don't have to put a dot in between them. It just stands for multiplying. 5 pi, that is the circumference, okay? Another way of writing it is actually multiplying those, okay? So, and before I forget, I'm going to put centimeters because I said label your answers. Okay, so I'm going to jump over here to my calculator. You should have a calculator like this on your computer as well. Sometimes it's a small version like this. And in the small version, it does have a pi button. It's right here next to the 7. Okay, if you make it one full page, it gives you a lot more options and it kind of, the numbers are bigger. All right, but if you leave it like this, you're going to do 5 and then pi button. Okay, equals. All right. And how about I actually hit multiply, right? 5 times pi equals, okay? Now, we got a long number there, and I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. 15.7, okay? 15.7. I know it goes on more and more and more, but after the first 7 is a 0, okay? Pause it if you need to see it. It's a 0, so that 0 is telling the 7 you can stay the same. Okay, so there's our 2 answers. We have the answer involving just pi, and then the answer that's actually a decimal. Okay, let's keep going. Down below it over here on the left, 9 inches. Now, because the line only goes halfway through, that's implying that they've only given us the radius. That means there's another 9 inches over here, or my diameter is 18 inches. Okay, assume that the line goes only halfway, that's only giving me the radius. So C, circumference, equals diameter times pi inches. Okay, there's one of my answers, just using my formula. D is 18, using pi, labeling it inches. C also equals, jumping to my calculator, 18 times pi equals 56 let me see, the 5, and there's a 4 after it, so the 4 isn't big enough. We're going to go with 56.5 inches. 2 answers for each. The one that involves pi, and the one where I used pi, I multiplied it out, 56.5. Okay? Last one, let's take a close look at it. 11 feet. 11 feet, because the line only goes halfway, that must mean what? It must mean it's the radius. So I'm going to extend this another 11 feet for a 22-foot diameter. Okay? 22 feet is the diameter. C is equal to 22 pi feet. Okay? I'm going to go to my calculator and multiply that out. 22 times pi equals 69.1 feet. Okay? Examples of how to find the circumference. If you know the diameter, it's quite simple. 5 gets put right in there. If we only know the radius, we double it to get our diameter, 18 pi or 56.5 inches. All of my answers look like they are labeled. I'm good. I'm good. Let's move on. So now this section or this page is about the opposite. So they've given us the circumference, and they're saying, okay, so what is the diameter, right? Find the diameter of each circle. Guys, this is so easy, right? If we already know the formula is C equals D times pi, then yeah, the pi here is already part of it. And that must mean our diameter is 16, right? If it's 16 pi, our diameter has to be 16. Over here on this one, our diameter must be 13. Okay, now I don't know if it's inches, I don't know if it's meters, they don't have that labeled part, and that's okay. They're just asking for what's the diameter. This has to be 16, that has to be 13, and the diameter in this case has to be 9. Okay, they're giving you the answer to what the circumference is, and we're finding the diameter from it. Okay, what about the same thing, but asking us for the radius? Okay, 2 steps here. The first step we already know, diameter is 38. Okay, well that means going all the way across, all the way through the center, from one side to the other is 38. Well, to find the radius, I need to take half of that. 38 divided by 2 is 19. So I'm using the first step of, okay, what's the diameter? And cut that in half. What's the diameter down here? The diameter must be 22. What's the radius? 11. Okay, probably already thought that. Right down here, the diameter equals 11. We need half of that now, so the radius is 5.5. Okay, remember, they're giving you all the way through. We're looking for just halfway through. All right? Hopefully that was good too. Remember, pause it if you need to hear it, or back up one more minute and listen to that again. Okay? And comparing circumferences. Okay, we have 2 different circles, circle A, circle B, and we just want to figure out how much bigger is circle A's circumference. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that the radius of A is the same as the diameter for B. Okay, so I'm going to find the circumference of A, and I can't use 15. I almost made the worst mistake possible. The circumference needs the diameter. This time it's 30 pi. Okay, over here for B, I'll change up the color. The circumference equals 15 pi. Okay, now I want to know how much bigger this one is than that one. Okay, so what's the difference, right? 30 pi minus 15 pi is going to be 15 pi. okay? Just like with variables, we're going to subtract them, and we're going to get 30 minus the 15, leave the pi, okay? There's one of the answers, right? Make sure I put an M in them for meters. And the other one, 15 times pi is 47.1 meters. That's the difference, okay? That's a little bit about circumferences, guys. Look for the paper, the worksheet tomorrow on circumferences. I hope you did the work prior to this on the intro to circles, and I hope this went well. Email me, contact me on Schoology if you have any questions. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.